We have seen how to import the text files interactively. Now we would see how to import data, import the spreadsheet into the MATLAB using programs. These programs can be written via as a script, or these can be written in the command window of MATLAB as well as a MATLAB command. Importing data programmatically in MATLAB enhances the capability of doing it interactively by means of more file formats are supported, and the more complex types of functionalities can be achieved by doing it programmatically. How would we do it? We will just see that. You can find these functions to use in MATLAB as a programmatically function in order to import the data by clicking on functions and data import and export. Standard file formats will give you an information regarding what are the formats which are supported. Text read, if you want to read the text files. CSV read are basically, as the description says, that it reads the comma separated CSV files. In order to read, if you would like to read the normal text files, the DLM read is the recommended function, which would read the ASCII delimited file of the numeric data into matrix rather than the comma separated files. To read the XLS data, we can write the read data as the variable which would be resulted in the read content and the function XLS read. Always use XLS and type tab that would complete the open parenthesis, and tab will give you a lot of options how would like to read. For example, here we would want to read the file, which is the XLSX file, income and expense. So specify that file. Just put a tab after income that would complete the file name. Now the second argument that we would have to specify is the sheet. Now the sheet, if you have multiple sheets in your XLS file, you can specify the sheet number and the range also. Here in this case, I would like to read all the XLX file contained, which is in the sheet 1. So let me specify this over here. Upon doing this, the read data will start reading the content of XLX read function using. Upon doing this, the function XLX read will read the file income and expense XLX, and it would store the data into read data. As we notice, the data which is stored in the variable read data is a type of double and a vector. If your file content is pretty long, then I would recommend you to use the semicolon in order to suppress the data answer coming on the MATLAB command window. Now for an example, if you would like to read the comma separated XLX file, that is the CSV format here, we can open this as a text and see that the data over here is arranged in the column format and separated by the commas. Now in order to read this data, we would like to use the function that is the CSV read, or we can use the function textScan. TextScan is later now recommended over the CSV read because of it has a lot of advantages. To know more about the advantages you get using TextScan, you can refer the documentation. One way of referring to the documentation is that if I type over here as text scan and then press F1 in keyboard, it is going to pop up a smaller window which will have all the description of the text scan. Pressing escape will close this window. If you would like to see the documentation in the HTML format, press doc and the function name. This should open in the web browser the definition of the text scan and the options associated with it. For now, let's minimize this and let's read this file. I will declare a file identifier FID and use the function fopen to read the file CSV read. Now, upon doing this, this would declare the FID. Now we need to use the text scan, that is the function, in order to read the file identifier. In order to see what other options are mentioned over here, you can press again F1 and you can see the format and the specification. For now, it has multiple columns. What we would like to do over here is we need to specify how to read each and every column with the function read. The another way of looking at the help documentation is, let's close this window, right click on this text scan and help on selection. This would pop up another window which would give the description of test scan. So there are around 3 to 4 methods of browsing the help for any text function. The best method would be you write the function, press tab, which will elaborate a lot of other options. The other way is that press F1 from your keyboard or write a doc in front of the function to see the elaborated description of the function using on the web HTML. The other one is that right click on the text scan function over here for an example and click on help on selection. So this should open a window something like this. Now, as I mentioned that we need to read these columns using this function read, and we need to mention the specifier. Here you will find a lot of other examples how this has been used. Now let's specify the arguments over here. We would like to read the first column as a number, the second column as string, the third column as string, the fourth column also as a string, the fifth column as a string. For example, if I would like to read just 5 columns out of the 8 columns and the number of the lines that I need to read, I'll specify over here as 50. I would like to remove the header lines, so I'll just write over here as header lines that I need to remove, and the delimiter. In this case here, the limiter is comma. Now upon entering this, this will read the values in the form of cell. Now typing the answer will show me the data which is arranged in the form of a cell. Now because we have opened the file, we need to close this as well. Let's try fclose and fid. So this will close the file handle. Let's do this again. Xscan data read. Sorry. Okay. Invite. Because I just closed the identifier, I think I need to open it again and do this. And then after that, I'll just close it. Now the data read has the value of the variable. Now because it's a cell array, so we need to get the values out of the cell array in this way. So let me access the value over here as suppose 1 and 2. Um, Sorry, it's gonna must be a string. So I need to put, for an example, let's see, we can import